In today's video we will talk about one of the darkest versions of Peter Parker. And no, I'm not talking about Peter the emo. I'm talking about Spider-Man Noir. So without further ado, let's start with the video. Spider-Man Noir first appeared in Spider-Man Noir comic book number 1. In the same comic we're told about a different version of Spider-Man, that a whole plot takes place in another universe number 90214, that the coming year is 1933. In this universe, Spider-Man Noir was raised by May Parker and Ben Parker, as in all Spider-Man comics, and grew up on the values of good over evil. As in all versions, in this version Uncle Ben dies, only this time in a more tragic way than usual. In this version he was killed by the Enforce team, which includes Ox, Fancy Dan, and Montana. And finally, we don't have the trial. With the great power comes great responsibility. The Enforcers were sent by the Goblin crime lord, who is not James Franco, who killed Ben Parker after he organized political protests against the Goblin. Uncle Ben's murder only spurred Peter to pursue justice. During Aunt May's election campaign, in which Peter helped her, the two were attacked by the Enforcers and saved at the last moment by Ben Urich. Ben Urich is an experienced journalist at Daily Bugle. Later Peter joins Ben Urich as an apprentice as a junior journalist, and together they investigate the situation that New York is in, especially the situation of those residents who are affected by the Goblin's control. After Peter receives information from an unknown source that was intended for Urich, Peter finds out about a transfer that the Goblin's thugs are making to one of the warehouses where they unload the stolen loot. Peter follows the bullies, and suddenly one of the bullies drops a statue that looks like a spider, and as soon as the statue crashes, hundreds of spiders run away from it. Peter tries to keep his cool, so that he won't be heard while the spider claws at him, and so the spider bites him. As a result of the bite, Peter passes out, and in a dream he meets Spider-God. After he wakes up he discovers that he has superpowers. He puts a mask on his face and goes on his way to match with Osborn in his house, and make Osborn give up his control of the city. But when Peter arrives at his house, he is surprised to find that his friend Ben Urich is already there. And when Peter fails to convince Osborn, he leaves him to Urich. Peter returns home and creates a suit for himself from the Air Force uniform from the First World War, in which Uncle Ben participated. And so the outlaw Spider-Man becomes. Yes, it sounds a bit strange that he is not the friendly neighbor Spider-Man. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.